The Glass House is a project that has been in the making since February. It was originally performed back last year as a piece called Looking Outside from the Inside by Adam Russell.
The idea started about a year ago. The piece started as a commission from Dance City for their edits platform. It's a piece about the wealth gap, discrimination, social isolation at this time in society.
After the success of #HiddenSpaces15, we had a discussion about doing another project this summer and saw Adam's piece looking in from the outside.
It's an immersive performance experience that merges lines between proscenium arch theatre and immersive theatre. It was quite different to Hidden Spaces, where it was completely immersive, where the audience walked into the space. This time we had the audience seated.
The two pieces stand separately as pieces of performance. There are links, naturally, because there's a common kind of ground in the work that we do.
The final piece was around 15 minutes and the Newcastle version was about 12. So the piece grew a lot. We looked at different ideas, different themes, and developed existing movement material and ideas.
Yeah, it's not particularly narrative. There's no set story, but it's heavily thematic. As the piece developed, we arrived almost at quite a strong journey and thread. Probably the most challenging period for me was from February onwards, before we actually started the project and the rehearsal process. It's a bigger project. It was a bigger project financially as well. But I've been really touched by the support that we've managed to kind of rally as well with the piece.
The past couple of weeks we've been at the university, rehearsing the first week with the professional cast and then the second week with the community cast.
It's always difficult when you're creating a new work to find the flow. The first week Adam and I really used to get our heads together as well. We had discussed thematically what we wanted to explore, but we'd never properly really sat down and looked at the structure until we had the dancers in the space. Kieran and Claire, the two professional dancers that we hired for the piece, they have been really intrinsic to its development and also the way that we took the work thematically.
I saw Punch Drunk Sleep No More. We got really interested in immersive theatre and saw that Dance had an immersive theatre piece last time. Thought that would be something that I'd really like to get involved with, so when I saw they were auditioning, that was like the perfect opportunity just to jump at that.
I've been lucky enough to hear about the audition, came over, fell in love, got the job, and I'm back. To me it's really different because I've been working with traditional companies, so in terms of dance technique it's more balletic, while here we have much more to play theatrically and physically.
Hi, my name is Jessica. Hi, my name is Eva. I started dancing when I was 4 and I started dancing when I was 5.
How many shows have you been in?
16. 16 for me. 8. 16 for me. I've been loads.
I was in Hidden Spaces last year and then I got the email to say that this one was going ahead, so I was like...
We have parts where we get to do it like us two and like somebody else get to do a part. It's like playing in like the glass house.
It's the immersive aspect and the site-specific theatre because it's all creepy down there and I really like the atmosphere that it creates. Zoe and Adam are brilliant. They're so friendly and lovely and nice and my babes.
It has happened really smoothly. I've been really pleased with the process and I think that we've worked incredibly well together as a team and it feels like, you know, the start of something quite strong in terms of a core team for the company.
The fact of having something to interact with, like the glass house, having something to climb on or to be able to use just really sparked my interest. I've not done that for a while and I thought that would be a really nice project.
We are currently making the set for the glass house. The original idea came from Adam. From that piece I've designed this.
I wanted it to be climbable and be made of reclaimed materials.
It's a mixture of metal, wood, bit of glass, windows, literally everything you can find.
Me and Anthony and Zoe spent a month in the warehouse, which you've obviously seen, building the glass house and making sure it was reinforced enough and change of design and learning new skills like welding and grinding metal.
Just having a whole team together to have all different tasks, that has helped a lot this year.
I'm Sarah Walker from Sarah Gad Millinery, and I'm responsible for the costumes and adornments for the project. My sister is Zoe, so she asked me to do the project. I knew a little bit about the theme. I knew that we were working with black fabrics, lace. I knew that it was a sort of Victorian decade. By using a sort of set material and fabric, we were able to get the themes across of sort of grandeur and create that sort of period feel to the costumes.
My name is Madeleine Jones and I'm the composer for the Glasshouse project.
I'm JACOB GARSIDE, I'm the cellist for the production here. I'm going to be playing over already made track.
This is a little bit outside of my everyday work, but actually I've done a lot of interesting improvisation and composition projects with Adam.
Mainly I'm a classical player. Not having much sheet music in front of us or nothing at all sometimes. It's quite freeing and quite scary at the same time.
We were talking about the idea of bourgeois spending and overindulgence, and certainly that's come across in a lot of what I've been doing. As you'll hear in the jive, for example, it's very much inspired by traditional 50s jive music. Some of the more devised sound pieces have literally taken recordings of pigs snuffling or an ATM machine down the road and have just extrapolated that into a piece of music.
I'm kind of in charge of the rehearsal process. As we've moved to the undercraft, still in charge of like the blocking and things like that, and then sorting out the sound and the lights and things.
My job is just to make sure that everything is running smoothly and that anything that anybody needs I can get and provide, like 700 apples.
It's been particularly interesting for me to come back to the space and use just one of the rooms. Obviously we went for the larger room using the undercraft.
We managed to see the space last night. I fell in love with it. It's just such a great space.
It was easier in many ways because we just had one base, so it was a lot less technically demanding in terms of the communication between spaces. But I think it allowed us to explore this one room a lot more, and I think also it became more about the set. The glass house that we brought into the space then became a bit more prevalent, and we could show that off.
On the Saturday, we moved everything from there to here.
We kind of obviously like planned it quite a lot. The glass house can come apart in the back of a van and things like that.
The glass house was a challenge because the structure kept breaking towards the side of the performances, so to overcome that. The themes were quite dark and quite challenging, so we had to be quite sensitive with how we went about that in rehearsals, and also for Ellie, who did the scene with the apple, because that's quite a dark and challenging one because she's still quite young.
We discussed it quite closely with her parents at the beginning. However, I think it's important to address the themes, and also the cross-generational perspective gave us a different theatricality really as well. So we looked at the 8-year-olds and particularly the younger kind of under 16 characters, almost giving a glimmer of hope.
One of the first things that Kieran, one of the professional dancers, said was that he already feels like he's part of a family kind of thing, which is really, really nice, and it's comforting for us as well as management to kind of say, oh, like we're doing something right, like making everyone feel at home and making sure that they can come to us and if they need anything.
This is the first time I've done this kind of thing with a whole company rather than just Adam on his own. And it makes a huge difference to have people allocated, I suppose, to something that they know they're good at. And so you know exactly who to go to for which problems, and it's been really refreshing.
I kind of want to say, you know, oh, this happened and that happened, but there isn't really that to say. It feels quite family orientated almost, and I think that we're all on a similar page. We've really established the ethos of the company as well. We've been talking a lot prior to the Glass House about where we want to go with Dance Ahead as a company. And I think that's helped in a way to ground us and to bring us together in terms of how we want to work in the future.
audiences and locals that have seen it have been really positive. They don't quite know what immersive theatre is until they see it.
People are generally very impressed with what we achieved in quite a short space of time. It's actually more theatrical than I thought it would be in the end.
I think it's been quite interesting to listen to audiences' responses after watching the piece and their feelings, because each of them have had a slightly different overall idea of what the piece was about. Some people thought the apple was life, whereas other people thought the apple was temptation and the wrong choice, and the soul was a fertile ground. So there was that choice for the audience to make at the end, and it's quite interesting to hear.
We've got lots of plans, so we still want to continue establishing the company in its own right, really, and looking at how we move forward for long-term plans, I think, is really important now. So we've got ideas for short-term projects, because obviously we've always worked on a project-to-project basis. We've got some ideas for creating Dance Ahead Youth Company as well, and getting that off the ground. Hopefully continuing to forge links with Claire and Kieran. They're both very keen to continue working with us. And ideally, we'd like to tour. We'll be scoping out venues and support as well for advice on how best to go about that.
Dance Ahead's work has grown, and more people know about the work in the area. And I think each time we are growing a number of community members who constantly want to be involved and have that experience and learn something new, because it is very different each project that we do.
I think that's what Dance Ahead does. We are bringing physical theatre to the community, and we're providing a performance to the public, and also we're providing an experience for the community if they do want to dance, no matter how experienced they are, if they've never danced before or if they're a really good dancer. It's about keeping it here.
You see people and they go to Manchester or they go to London and they go where it is rather than creating something.
I would definitely do this again. Yeah.
It holds quite a special place in my heart, actually, this one. I think that it's been an incredibly immersive process from start to finish, not only for the audience, but for us as creators as well. And I feel quite proud of what we've achieved. It marks a turning point in terms of where the work's going, and I just continue to hope that it goes from strength to strength, really. But yeah, it's been a great one.